Hi, boys and girls. I have a lesson for the littles today. We're going to study somebody whose name is Claude Monet. He is a famous painter who lived a long time ago. And I have a story that we're going to start with today called Philippe in Monet's Garden. Okay, so we'll start with this and I'll tell you a little bit about Monet and then I'll show you our project for today. I think you're going to like it. I'm going to read the words and then I'll show you the picture, okay? The story begins in a frightful way. Frog legs, special of the day. In the city of Paris, as everyone knows, frog legs are eaten except for the toes. They are buttered and baked and sometimes fried, and the bigger, the better is always the guide. A train ride away in the French countryside lived a frog named Philippe with a marvelous stride. He got his name because of his leap, which was the biggest and grandest, just like his feet. Philippe liked to play in the pond every day, and he tried not to mind when his friends were unkind. Did you know that people eat frog legs? Like really, truly they do. Tee-hee, ha-ha, you're a dumb-looking frog, they teased the unhappy Philippe. Your thighs are too long, your shape is all wrong, you can't be our friend, you just don't belong. The frog catcher crept with his big trusty net as they bullied Philippe and made fun of his feet. Oh no, it's not fair, they cried in despair. Philippe in your net is far better. Philippe in your net is a far better bet. Big feet or not, I haven't been caught. These legs won't be buttered, baked, or fried, but as for you, well, I bid you goodbye. Leap, leap, Philippe, he heard the sheep bleat, and he kept on hopping, there was no time for stopping, as he made his escape from a gruesome fate. Just when Philippe was all out of leap, he came to a gate of the Monet estate, and reading the sign, which suited him fine, he begged Monet's pardon and entered the garden. And the sign says, Monet's garden, no frog hunting. Oh my, what a size! I can't believe my eyes, exclaimed the painter Monet. What a physique! Those legs are très magnifique! You're the perfect addition to my garden, not my kitchen. Philippe's grin grew a mile wide. He wouldn't be buttered or baked or fried. This smile became his only expression because Monet's garden made quite an impression. Monet showed him the pond of which he was fond, where he painted the light between daybreak and night. And as for Philippe, there were bugs of all kinds, green ones and pink ones on which he could dine. So Philippe found a home to call his own, and Monet added some green to his painterly scene. The bistro sign now says, special of the day, omelets. So what did you notice about the pictures in this book? The colors are kind of soft, aren't they? And if you look at the pond here, Monet loved to draw lily pads in the pond and flowers. He liked to draw nature. And his type of work that he did was called Impressionism. And that means instead of drawing a realistic looking bridge, like this is a bridge up here, he drew more of a soft strokes with his paintbrush. So you can tell that it's a bridge when you're looking at the whole thing, but if you got up really close, it might be a little bit fuzzy to see. You know how sometimes when you look at something and you relax your eyes, you just kind of like stare off into space and things can look a little fuzzy? Well, that's what Impressionism is. It's kind of that fuzzy, soft, it grabs onto the colors that you might see, but it's not so much every little intricate detail that some painters are known for. So I have a book of some of Monet's work. It's a really big book. And so it's like these little tiny paintbrush marks that he would use. And they're just kind of fuzzy. Like, look at this. So you can see the water, you can see the flowers floating on top of the water, right? You can make everything out, but it's very soft, isn't it? So Monet loved nature. Let me see if I can find this really big one somewhere in here. Some of his paintings, if you went to an art gallery and actually got to see his work up close, are humongous. So like this one is 27 feet. So that's probably like 3 of your dads head to toe together. So there you can see, look at the colors that he uses. What color do you see a lot of in here? Some greens and blues, purples, pinks, and yellows. It's all very soft, isn't it? So what we're going to do today is we're going to make an impressionistic painting like Monet did, and we're not going to use a paintbrush. Well, we'll use a paintbrush for one part, but here's what we're going to do today. All right, so there's our lily pond, and we're going to use flowers. We're going to use flowers as a paintbrush. We're going to first paint the water blue with a paintbrush, and then we're going to use flowers to make the water lilies and the lily pads. So I have this bouquet of flowers that I've actually had since Valentine's Day, and they're still hanging in there, but they're ready to go. So I picked some of these off. So I have a daisy and whatever this little thing is, like aster, is that what that's called? Anyway, if you don't happen to have flowers in your house that mom has, you can go outside and pick dandelions for free. So you could pick a couple dandelions, and if any of the trees are budding around you, it would kind of give that same cluster of flowers like this purple one here. Okay, they don't need to be big, right? You can just take off a little bud, like about that size, okay? So for your supplies today, you're going to need to pick some flowers, okay? And you'll need a piece of paper to paint. You'll need a paintbrush, and you'll need acrylic paints if you have them. Okay, that's gonna work best because it needs to be a little bit thicker. So acrylic paints are just craft paint. If your mom has craft paint, that'll be fine. So I used blue and white, green, and pink and purple. But you can choose, you know, whatever colors are available to you or whatever palette you wanna pick out, okay? So you might want your art smock today because you are painting, and you might want to put some newspaper down on the table if you don't have something to cover the table up to protect it. And you can meet me back here and we'll go over the lesson of how we're going to paint this, okay? See you soon.